Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome back to Financial Modeling Series 1.0. In today's video, we are about to talk about XLookup. And I'm going to use the same worksheet again to create an index and match functionality also. The interesting part of XLookup is XLookup can do something that VLOOKUP cannot do. And a VLOOKUP by default has some basic information here. So let's reiterate that and what are the components that we are going to compare when we are using a VLOOKUP and an XLookup here. So if you want to break the VLOOKUP, there are 6 different logic that I can tell you on a VLOOKUP and XLookup, where XLookup is a little better than the VLOOKUP here. The first part is the compatibility. So again, vertical lookup, that's what VLOOKUP is all about, and a VLOOKUP can go only in vertical way alone. So in simple term, it supports vertical lookup only. Where when I go for next lookup, it does what a lookup function does, but with much more enhanced feature in it, where it can support a vertical and an horizontal lookup simultaneously. There is a capacity or the capability of an XLookup compared to a VLOOKUP. In the proficiency component, there is a complex task can be handled with these in XLookup, and then it is highly intuitive, and as well as it's a user-friendly formula that we have at the moment. And in here, the error handling will be specific to the dimension. If there is an error comes in a VLOOKUP, we need to use an if error function to override the errors. We don't want to use that in an XLookup here. And then the lookup value can be any column. You can do reverse lookup with ease in XLookup. And as well as XLookup by default, it searches only for an exact match, not like a VLOOKUP where the approximate is what by default is available for us in a VLOOKUP. So these are the topics that I can tell you. I can say capability, proficiency, how the user feels it, and what are the different error handling can be handled in XLookup, how the default search can work here. For example, in this scenario, I want to find out what is the last sales done by the following sales rep. Again, I can use 2 different formulas to achieve it. So I'm going to go back to the data set here. I want to bring all my sales rep only once here. So I'm going to just bring the data set in this list. I'm going to just say equals unique functionality, and then I'm going to select the whole data set top to bottom. When I come back here, you can see that the data set comes in here. And then when I close the bracket and give an enter, that's going to give you all my unique valuations list here. Now I want to find out a VLOOKUP or a lookup functionality, but when I do a VLOOKUP functionality, it will always give me the first line item because VLOOKUP doesn't have multiple dimension here. So when I normally go for a VLOOKUP, you will see only 4 syntax here. If in the case I use an XLookup, that's going to give you a lot more than what I'm going to achieve it. I'm not going to go for a function argument here. I'm going to use the VLOOKUP effectively. So let's say I want to see the lookup functionality here. This is the first sales step that I have here. And then I want to pick up the lookup array, and I can pick up separate. This works like a lookup function. Again, when I go for lookup function, by default, the search is approximate match, but in an XLookup function, the default search was exact match. So I'm going to select the whole data set here, and then I'm going to give a control backspace. Then I give a comma. What I'm looking for from this particular data is, I want to see what is their sales is all about. Again, when I go for the sales also, I'm going to tell the system that I am looking only for last data set here. So here you can see I have an exact match. I have an exact match or the next smallest item, or I have an exact match with the next largest item, and so on and so forth. This is in match mode that I have in my list here. I'm going to leave the match mode also. Then I'm going to tell the system I want to go for a search mode here. These are the logic that is newly enhanced in XLookup functionality. In the search mode function, I want to find out the last sales done by the specific sales representative here. So I'm going to use last 2 first, and then when I close the bracket and give an enter, that's going to populate the list here. If I would have done this for the entire list, that would be nice. So let me just do this one more time, XLookup, because I want to show all the data at once. And I'm going to just say the name of the person is this. So that's going to give you all my answer in one shot. I'm going to give a comma. I don't want to populate that manually again. Then I'm going to take the data set from the sales rep, and then I'm going to take all my data set from the sales. And then I'm going to give a comma for the if not found, and I'm going to give a comma for the match mode, and I'm going to give a comma for my search mode, and the search mode will be last to the first when I give an enter. That's going to populate all my sales done by the respective people here. So let me see what is this particular sales steps, last sales is. So I'm going to go for this. Yes, you can see 5.2. Again, the valuation is highlighted in an exact way. So if I want to make this better, so I can add a round function here. I'm going to remove all the decimals out of the equation. So when I do that, that's going to give you the same answer, whatever I got here. This is how we can use XLookup functionality. The formula that I used in here is this. So if you want to learn more about XLookup, so we will be adding a series of marathon series sooner. In marathon series, we are going to talk about all lookup functions, all other functions related in Excel one by one. And you can even follow this channel for your Power BI updates also. So I'm going to add a new Power BI updates videos sooner in the list here. This is the Financial Modeling Series 1.0. This is Vinod signing out from iSelf Academy YouTube channel. Learn more and then keep getting updated. Thank you so much.